So I do agree with you, gentlemen. I do think the bill is pretty broad, but when you look at it in the context of the last speakers, um, one of the things Maryland's done is put a lot of investment into maker spaces and things like that, to try to incubate, like we saw these two young men come up here and talk. John, maybe you guys can specifically talk to, I mean, how does that square with what Maryland's trying to do as far as these? And again, I do think that there needs to be some bifurcation on safety equipment and versus data DRAS or data disaster recovery services. But at the same time, I mean, the crux of a lot of the previous testimony was general small repairs. And to Delegate Jackson's question, I mean, it's about money, but the end of the day, I agree. I'm not really following from A to B how we're getting into intellectual property and semiconductor design and motherboard layering when we're talking about syncing batteries and screens. So based on, and I know that question's a little bit all over the place, but at the end of the day, I mean, Maryland spent a lot of money and putting a lot of time and effort into trying to foster some small businesses like this. I don't see how this is replacing a controller to a PlayStation, a knob on a controller to a PlayStation is somehow encroaching on the intellectual property of Sony.
This is one of the things that really aggravates me about the 2-minute timer, because I've been on a 4-minute timer, I've been on a 3-minute timer. You cannot get all the answers to all the questions they have across in 2 minutes. And if a good question is asked, you're not able to answer it once you're done. So how does this relate to the fact that Maryland has put a lot of time and effort into trying to help kids learn about science, technology, and computers? And how does this relate to the fact that they've put in a lot of effort to help small businesses? I think that's a great question. So this is an industry that allows you to go from a minimum wage job to a small investment essentially to the middle to upper middle class as a small business owner, even if you're just a one-man band working out of your apartment, if you have any sort of mind for analytical thinking or a detective's mindset. And what they're doing up here is they're trying to ensure that companies have a monopoly on repair by putting together these types of exclusivity agreements that keep people from being able to fix their own stuff and keep small business owners from being able to fix their own stuff. But above all, one of the ways that a lot of people get involved in electronics, that get involved or interested in design and engineering, is by opening their own stuff up and figuring out how it works. If you speak to many people who are 100 times smarter than me, who have accomplished 1,000 times more than me in design and engineering, the story is almost always the exact same thing. I took apart my parents' TV set and got in trouble for it. I took apart the receiver. I took apart the vacuum cleaner and tried to put it back together when it broke. This is one of the ways that people get involved in the fields. Now, I appreciate that Maryland is putting a lot of time, effort, and resources and money into trying to get young people involved in this, but this is actually one of the ways that young people get involved in this that doesn't cost the government any money. They're just opening stuff up in their homes, working on it, and by making it so that you cannot buy a charged chip to a machine, by telling manufacturers don't sell that chip to anybody but us, by making it so that even authorized repair centers are not able to get access to schematics and board views and diagrams, you're fostering a culture of replacing things rather than fixing things. And that's not even just going to affect the repair industry. That's also, in my opinion, going to affect small business and design and engineering as it is, because what you're going to do is you're giving people less opportunity to learn from a young age how to work on these products, to learn how electronics work, to learn the fundamentals that are required before people get into engineering or start taking engineering classes. And that would have been a great thing to say, but you can't because you get 2 minutes. And after that 2 minutes is done, a little buzzer goes off and you got to go. So let me know what you think there. Seth actually seemed to take some genuine interest in what it is we had to say. And this is one of the reasons that I say that this really doesn't have to do with party. You go to Minnesota, and Republican Gary Doms is head of consumer protection, and he owns He owned a car dealership back in the day, and he thinks that independent mechanics seemingly are going to screw everything up, so he's against right to repair. Here, you have influential Democrats that are against a bill that buy that line about source code, hook, line, and sinker, and then it's the Republican like Seth Howard that's saying out loud, I don't see how trying to replace a piece of a controller has anything to do with copyright, intellectual property, or your source code. So really, party affiliation, at least in my experience over the past 3 years, has nothing to do with whether or not they understand it or they get it when we explain it. It really has to do with whose arguments did they choose to listen to and did they actually care. So let me know what you think in the comments down below.